Okay guys, this assignment here is not a cookie cutter assignment. All the problems aren't the same. You probably want to watch the video. Now the smartest thing you could do with all these different kinds, because every equation is going to look a little bit different, is find the ones where you have x to the second power and then label those parabolas. Okay, so we have x to the second, that's a parabola, meaning it's going to be a U shape. You got x to the second here, yeah, x parentheses to the second, that's a parabola. Parabola. Again, it's how you spell that, Parabola. Okay, turn the page. I don't see a second power. There's only one single x, so that is a line. Okay. I don't see a second power, but there are two x's, so that will be a parabola. Here I see an x. There's no second power with it. That would be a line. Just that's the only x. Okay, you see an x. It's not to the second power, there's only one of them, so that's a line. Okay, here I see x, I have a second power, so that's a parabola. And even though I don't have a second power, I count two x's, so two x's means x to the second. Okay, I'm going to make a little thing. So that is a parabola. Okay, why don't you pause the video and go do that assignment. Which ones are parabolas, which ones are lines? There's three of each, okay? You got to mark them. Okay, now that that's done, let's go graph, okay? So if it's a parabola, for directions on the graphing, we're looking either here, here, or here. Now, simply put, do I have any parentheses in this equation? No, I don't. So it wouldn't be that one. That's one parentheses. This is two. I would be looking up here for my directions. It's standard form. So it's in standard. So I make my table. The middle x is equal to the opposite of b divided by 2 times a. Remember, a is always in front of the x squared, b is always in front of the x. Okay, so I'm going to write opposite of b, OPP if you want to abbreviate, divided by 2 times a. Now guys, remember your b's got to be the opposite of what you see here. So if I see plus 16 there, I need to write negative 16 here. And then we're going to be taking 2 times whatever a is. But the a is not opposite. The a is going to be the 4. Okay. Okay, so 2 times 4 is 8. And negative 16 divided by 8 equals negative 2. So negative 2 is my middle x. And then I plus 1 and minus 1 to find the other x's. So if I take negative 2 plus 1, that's going to be negative 1. And then negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Plug in on the calculator to find your y's. Okay, you're just replacing x on the calculator. So I've got 4 parentheses, and I'll put in negative 1. Take it to that. That one gets taken to the second power. Plus 16, and then negative 1 plus 3. Okay, that gives me negative 9. Now I plug in negative 2, so I've got 4, and then negative 2 to the second power, plus 16, and then negative 2, plus 3. I got negative 13. Okay, I'm hoping this is negative 9 as well. So 4, and I go negative 3 to the second power, plus 16, and then negative 3 plus 3. Okay, it's negative 9. So I should count by 2's when I do the y. So I go left 1, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 9's between the 8 and the 10. Negative 2, negative 13, I go left 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then 13's right here. Negative 3, negative 9, I go left 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 9's right here. And I have my parabola. Okay, the next one's a parabola, but what form is it? Does it have a parentheses? Yeah. So it's not going to be this one. How many parentheses does it have? It's got 1, so it needs to be this one, so it's in vertex form. Okay, look for the directions on vertex. You make your XY table. To find your middle x, you set the expression in the parentheses equal to 0. So I've got x minus 3, set that equal to 0. Solve the little equation to find your middle x, so plus 3, so x equals 3. That's your one middle x. Plus 1 and minus 1 for the other x's to your middle. So 3 plus 1 is 4, 3 minus 1 is 2. And then plug in on your calculator to find your y's, okay? So I've got negative 3, and I'll put in 4 minus 3 instead of x minus 3, and then take it to the second power, plus 6, and that gives me 3. Okay, now instead I'll put in 3, so negative 3, parentheses 3 minus 3 to the second power, plus 6, and that's 6. Now put in 2. So negative 3 and then 2 minus 3 to the second power plus 6, and that's 3 as well. So 4, 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and there's a parabola. Okay, next problem is a line. So with lines, I want to look here. There was no second power, it's a line. Now with lines, we can either do inputs of 0, 1, 2, if we have y equals out front, or we can do the double 0 if the x and y are on the same side. Well, here the y's out front, so I'm going to want to line it up like this, okay? And just plug in 0, 1, 2. I don't need to do anything up here on a line. It's just 0, 1, 2. Okay, and then I just plug and chug. 2 times 0 minus 5 is going to be negative 5. 2 times 1 minus 5 is negative 3. 2 times 2 minus 5 is negative 1. Okay, so 0, and these won't be the same now because it's a line, not a parabola. So 0, negative 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, negative 3. I'll go right 1 down 1, 2, 3. 2, negative 1, I go 2, and then left 1. And there's a line. Okay. Next problem is another parabola. Well, is it this, this, or this? Well, it wouldn't be that because we have parentheses. It wouldn't be that because there's 2 parentheses, and here's 2 parentheses with x inside each one. Okay, so I make my table, and that's what's called factored form. That's what that says, factored. So I make my table. I set each parentheses factor equal to 0. So x plus 3 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0. Okay, solve the little equations to find the first and third. That's what these will be. So x equals negative 3 because I minus 3 from both sides. Plus 5, x equals positive 5. And those are your first and third x's. Okay, to find the middle, you add the first and the third and divide by 2. Okay, so negative 3 plus 5 equals 2. And then I divide by 2, and that's 1. Okay. Now I plug in using my calculator, so I've got 2. We're going to go negative 3 plus 3, close that, and then negative 3, another parentheses, sorry, negative 3 minus 5. You got to put parentheses, so that's 0. Now plug 1 in, 1 plus 3, and 1 minus 5, because x is now 1, so negative 32. Then 5, so 2, and parentheses 5 plus 3, and 5 minus 5, and that gave me 0, 2. Okay, so negative 3, 0, so 1, 2, 3, and then 0. 1, negative 32, I'm going to count by 5, so 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 32. And then 5, 0, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. There's my parabola. Okay, next one. We knew that was going to be a line, so I looked down here. Now, depends what y is, where the x and y are. Okay, if y is equal, you go 0, 1, 2. But if the y is equal here. Okay, so. But actually, instead of 0, I'm going to go 0, but instead of 1, 2, I'm going to pick multiples of the denominator because I have a fraction here. So instead of 0, 1, 2, we're going to go 0, 4, 8 would be the best way. If you do 0, 1, 2, it's not going to affect the line. You just get a bunch of fractions. A lot of people don't like that. So I take negative 1, ABC 4, and then times 0 plus 3, I get 3. Negative 1 ABC 4 times 4 plus 3, you get 2. And this won't be 3 because it's a line, not a parabola. So negative 1 ABC 4 parentheses 8 plus 3, I got 1. Okay. So 0, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's your y-intercept. 4, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then 8, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then up to 1. And there's my line. Okay, next one's another line, but we don't have the y equals out front. The x and y are on the same side together, so I would want to make my double zero table. And if you don't remember how to find the other values on an xy intercept double zero table, you write the equation down twice, copy it down, and if x is 0, we get rid of 3x and we just divide by 6 to find what y equals. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Now if the y is 0, you eliminate 6y from the equation, and then you divide by 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 0, 2, I go up 1, 2. And then 4, 0, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and there's another line. Kind of looks the same as the top one, but it's down a little lower. Okay, next one. We have a parabola, so I'd want to look in these. Do I have any parentheses? I don't, so I'm going to use these directions here. Okay, so x, y. To find the middle x, we take the opposite of b divided by 2a formula. Remember, a is in front of x squared, and b is in front of the x. Okay, so I take opposite of b, divided, underline it because you're dividing it by 2 times a. So remember, the b's got to be made opposite. So if I see plus 8, I got to remember to make that negative 8. And then on bottom, 2 times a. So 2 times negative 4, and that's negative 8. So I divide negative 8 by negative 8, and that equals positive 1, and that's your middle x. Then I add 1, which is 2, and I subtract 1 from 1, and that's 0. And now I just plug these into the calculator. So negative 4 times 2 to the second power plus 8, parentheses 2 minus 3. I got negative 3. Okay, so negative 4, I put a 1 in, second power, plus 8, put a 1 in, and then minus 3, I get 1. Then I plug in 0, negative 4 times 0 to the second power, plus 8 times 0, minus 3, I get negative 3. Okay, so 2, negative 3, so I go 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, I go right 1, up 1, and then 0, negative 3, I stay and go down 3. There's a parabola. Okay, next one's another parabola, so it's either this. Well, are there parentheses? Yep, so it's not this one. Now, how many parentheses are there? There's 2, so it wouldn't be this one. That's if there's just one of them in second power. This one has 2, so that's a parabola in factored form. So I set each parentheses equal to 0 after I set up my table, of course. So x minus 3 equals 0, and x plus 5 equals 0. It's like you do the F1, F2. So plus 3, x equals 3. Minus 5, x equals negative 5. Okay, so 3 and negative 5 are my two answers. Okay, those are the first and third, though. Remember that. Okay, to find the middle, add the first and third and divide the sum by 2. So 3 plus negative 5 equals negative 2. And then I get my sum and then divide it by 2. That equals negative 1. Okay, now plug in for the calculator to find the y's. So you got 4, and then 3 minus 3, and then 3 plus 5. Okay, and I got 0, negative 1. So I've got 4, and then negative 1 minus 3, and then negative 1 plus 5. Okay, I got negative 64. So negative 5 is what I'll be putting in there. So 4 and then negative 5 minus 3, negative 5 plus 5. That gave me 0. Okay, so 3, 0. I go right 1, 2, 3. Negative 1, negative 64. I go left 1 and then down. Let's go by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 64 is about right here. Okay, and then negative 5, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you have 4 on your own to do.